This is an anonymous message from the global revolution to politicians, dictators and plutocrats all over the planet. Surprised by the global disobedience? Let us explain to you your delicate situation. Tens of thousands of years ago, human beings began to evolve. Since then, our species has walked a dark and bloody road, which isolated people condemned to live in fear caused by ignorance. Knowledge, ethics and technological development have always been conditioned by the elite and their wars, which is in the Orwellian metaphor, have done nothing more than perpetuate vertical and obscurantist social schemes. We have arrived to the 21st century of our era, after 2 world wars, endorsing the possibility of nuclear conflict with assured mutual destruction. Their so-called economists and intellectuals, having announced that it was the end of the story, it seemed, more than ever, that looking for a fairer order was meaningless. Thinking that they had slowed our rational development enough, they let us carry on with a progress model whose sole objective was never more than to make them even richer and more powerful. However, they did not consider that the real human spirit refuses to bow, always. While they believed they were overcoming us by using economic shocks, our species has evolved in a new manner. Using only the powers of culture and freedom, we have reused those technological resources that were born of our genius and that were only provided to us with consumerist intentions. So we have updated, improved and immunized our force operations and effectiveness. We absorb their own tactics, techniques and power of persuasion to form our own means, dreams and challenges. Today, the revolution is spreading around the planet as a challenge to their oppression, and they shamelessly try to shut down our freedom of expression. Finally, information has reached critical mass, exploding in a melting pot of voices whose new wishes and needs can't be covered by their old paradigm. Now, physically and digitally interconnected, we form a huge collective consciousness. Maybe their corporate media silences what is happening, but they cannot fool us anymore.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Here, watch this. Shut up. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
To the President of the United States of America, we are anonymous. We would like to ask you, are you happy with what you have allowed the United States to become? The entire country a war zone. People standing up for their rights and the city governments allowing the brutal beating and arresting the citizens across America. By allowing this to happen, you are a disgrace to the presidency. Any past president would put their political careers aside and focus on the city streets of his own country. So far you have done nothing about the thousands of people arrested in the city streets for exercising their First Amendment rights. Because you are too busy campaigning for your second term as president. Stop and listen to the people you took an oath to uphold. Stop treating the people of America like terrorists with the building of FEMA camps to house Americans that stand up against political control. Mr. President, you had a dream of change when you were first elected, but clearly you have sold out to the corporate injustices that every American involved in the Occupy movement are speaking out against. You, Mr. President, are a failure to America. In fact, you are building an army of angry Americans that will not allow the government to control every little aspect of their lives. It is only a matter of time before the people of America turn the tables and focus their revolution on true freedom, and they will fight for it.
Now is the time to open your eyes. In a stunning move that has civil libertarians stuttering with disbelief, the U.S. Senate has just passed a bill that effectively ends the Bill of Rights in America. The National Defense Authorization Act is being called the most traitorous act ever witnessed in the Senate, and the language of the bill is cleverly designed to make you think it doesn't apply to Americans. But toward the end of the bill, it essentially says it can apply to Americans if we want it to. Bill summary and status. 112th Congress, 2011 to 2012, S. 1867. Latest title, National Defense Authorization Act 4. This bill, passed late last night in a 93-7 vote, declares the entire USA to be a battleground upon which U.S. military forces can operate with impunity, overriding posse comitatus and granting the military the unchecked power to arrest, detain, interrogate and even assassinate U.S. citizens.
When they say, I want a lawyer, you tell them, shut up. You don't get a lawyer, close quote. Is this acceptable in someone who has taken an oath to uphold the Constitution?
Hello, Sony. We are anonymous. It has come to the attention of the anonymous activist community that you have chosen to stand by the Stop Online Piracy Act. This act will halt online businesses and restrict access to many sites for many users. Supporting SOPA is like trying to throw an entire company from off a bridge.
For internet, censoring litigation such as SOPA, PIPA, and ACTA, and the closure of sites such as Mega Upload under allegations of piracy and conspiracy. The time has come to take a stand against music, film, and media companies' lobbyists.
NATO, we are anonymous. It has come to our attention that a NATO draft report has classified Anonymous a potential threat to member states' security, and that you seek retaliation against us. It is true that Anonymous has committed what you would call cyber attacks in protest against several military contractors, companies, lawmakers, and governments, and has continuously sought to fight against threats to our freedoms on the internet. And since you consider state control of the internet to be in the best interest of the various nations of your military alliance, you therefore consider US a potential threat to international security. So we would like to make it clear that we, in reality, pose no threat to the people of your nations. Anonymous is not a reckless swarm attacking the websites of governments and companies out of hatred or spite. We fight for freedom for ourselves and the people of the world. We seek to preserve the liberty granted to the millions of people who have found it on the internet. In your draft, you mention the data intelligence company HB Gary Federal and how they were hacked by Anonymous. You use this as justification that we are a threat. What you conveniently fail to mention is that HB Gary itself was engaged in illegal activity, including but not limited to being contracted by the United States Chamber of Commerce to spy on and discredit unions and progressive groups, being contracted by the Bank of America to launch a campaign of misinformation against WikiLeaks and its supporters, going so far as to blackmail journalists, developing a new type of Windows rootkit to spy upon individuals, and developing astroturfing software that could make an army of fake social media profiles to manipulate and sway public opinion on controversial issues. That this company, which tries to protect the US government from hackers, was partaking in such illegal activity against ordinary, uninvolved citizens, whether it be for the aid of security or not, is completely disgraceful and utterly unacceptable. We care not whether the actions we have taken in this struggle have complied with laws of the United States or any other country. What you'll not fail to understand is that we live in cyberspace. The only laws that apply are the laws set forth by our individual consciences. We break your nation's laws when we recognize those laws to stand between the people and their freedom. Anonymous is not simply a group of super hackers. Anonymous is the embodiment of freedom on the web. We exist as a result of the internet and humanity itself. This frightens you. It only seems natural that it would. Governments, corporations, and militaries know how to control individuals. It frustrates you that you do not control us. We have moved to a world where our freedom is in our own hands. We owe you nothing for it. We stand for freedom for every person around the world. You stand in our way. We hope you come to see that your attempts to censor and control our existence are futile. But if this is not the case, if you continue to object to our freedoms, we shall not relent. We do not fear your tyranny. You cannot win a battle against an entity you do not understand. You can take down our networks, arrest every single one of us that you can backtrace, read every bit of data ever shared from computer to computer for the rest of this age, and you will still lose. So come at me, bro. You can retaliate against us in any manner you choose. Lock down the web. Throw us in prison. Take it all away from us. Anonymous will live on. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Hello, leaders of Scientology. We are anonymous. Over the years, we have been watching you. Your campaigns of misinformation, your suppression of dissent, your litigious nature, all of these things have caught our eye. With the leakage of your latest propaganda video into mainstream circulation, the extent of your malign influence over those who have come to trust you as leaders has been made clear to us. Anonymous has therefore decided that your organization should be destroyed. For the good of your followers, for the good of mankind and for our own enjoyment, we shall proceed to expel you from the internet and systematically dismantle the Church of Scientology in its present form. We recognize you as serious opponents, and do not expect our campaign to be completed in a short time frame. However, you will not prevail forever against the angry masses of the body politic. Your choice of methods, your hypocrisy and the general artlessness of your organization have sounded its death knell. You have nowhere to hide.